Welcome back to the channel, folks. On today's video, we're actually going to be going on a tour of our community garden. It's springtime here in Washington, D.C., so let's go take a look at what's in store for us this season at our local community garden. So here we are. We're in Northeast Washington, D.C. Springtime here. It's late March. And I just want to give you guys a tour of the garden and the different types of raised beds that are being used here. If you guys hear leaf blowers in the background, forgive me. You know, people are doing yard work and, you know, it's that season. But so our first bed here, there's the total of 19 beds in this community garden. All of them are roughly 4 foot by 8 foot. Here we have some 6 by 6 tenders that are used for this bed. It's already been weeded, getting ready for the season. Here our second bed is the same style. Those 6 by 6 wooden posts stand about 18 inches off the ground. This one obviously needs to be weeded as well. Our third one, same style. Those 6 by 6 wood posts, already weeded, germinated, you know, excuse me, not germinated, already weeded and ready to be planted for the season. And then over here we have 12 more beds. Actually, no, we have 16 more beds over here. We have more of the wood posts on these three. This one's already been weeded as well. This one here has already been planted with some, you know, spring, fall crops. I see, what do we see? Parsley. I see some kale back there. And it looks like a strawberry plant. And then we have this bed back here in the back that has obviously been tended to and ready for the season. Now, an interesting style bed that I found here are these concretes, right? So it's a concrete, but if you look closely, it almost looks like they used wine bottles, I think. But it's a gorgeous bed. And actually, since I've been here, they've actually planted some of their spring crops too. I see kale, I see collards, I think I see those radishes. No, I see some lettuces. Yep. I know these are collards down here. Back there is definitely collards. Broccoli along this front row right there. They got broccoli in the garden. I see some spinach back there. Awesome. Some lettuce, some leafy greens. So they're ready. They're ready for spring. You know, late March is a great time in our Zone 7 here in Washington, D.C. Great time to plant. This bed here, it's a manufactured wood frame. It has the metal corners and the metal joint post in the middle. But it's the fabricated lumber. It's like MDF board, I think it's called. But this one definitely still needs to get weeded and ready for the spring. And now here's an interesting style. I've been seeing a lot of these recently. Is they use this galvanized steel, almost like a roofing material. And then it's a wood frame. And what's great is it actually has a ledge around the whole outskirts of it. Right? So if you're weeding or planting or even harvesting, you could actually sit yourself on that side of that wall there, which actually is great. Down here, this is a community herb bed. As you see, a humongous rosemary plant has already been trimmed back. And then also, this one is just a cinder block concrete wall. Real simple. They poured concrete, ran cinder blocks around the top edge. Very durable. Probably not the cheapest way to do it, but hey, it's another way to do a raised bed. And that's actually how all three of these beds here in the front are identical. This one has actually overwintered. Looks to be some kale still growing here, so that'll get weeded out. This one actually has some daffodils popping up out of it, which is cool. It's already been mulched in. I'm sure they're ready for the season. Another one of these galvanized frame ones. That's pretty cool. This one here has already been weeded. I actually know whose bed this is. And they've actually put down just a solid rubber tarp because they've already weeded the entire bed, and they just don't want all of those seedlings coming off the trees as they flower and dropping in there. But you see, here's more of that fabricated MDF type wood frame with the metal corners. And then across the back here, we have those 3 concrete beds that have what appear to be wine bottles, but it's very decorative, right? So that's the 16 beds on this side. And we saw the first 3 with those 6x6 timbers. But I wanted to show you, because this was originally created as a community garden. That is the exact purpose of this garden, is for the community to not only work in it, tend it, but to benefit from it. So let me step back. We actually have 2 4-foot by 40-foot beds, and these are the community areas. If you see this row here, I had a video recently where I was weeding and weeding and weeding. So as you come down here, I thought it was really beneficial to get those weeds out. So now I had a nice clear pathway. And one of the things that I loved about it is, with this community garden, they actually had a sifter already here. So if you see here, this has been sitting here for like a couple weeks. It's all dried out. All I'm gonna have to do is sift through that stuff, let the gravel and the dirt fall through, the weeds will stay on top. I'll go ahead and disperse of all those weeds and grass and other stuff. But, you know, we weeded this all out, got this ready for spring planting. We just covered it, threw some objects on top to keep the tarp down. That's about 20 feet of the bed that'll be ready in the next couple weeks. I'll walk around to the other side, but I actually, if you see here, I germinated last weekend. We have white onions and red onions. I'm not certain of the variety, but I also built up this trellis here, and it's about a 10-foot trellis, 2 5-foot sections, and we have, let me zoom in, we have some sugar snap peas that I germinated from seed and then came out here. I guess they've been in the ground about 2 weeks now, but there's probably about, I would say, a good 40 or 50 sugar snap pea plants that are starting to grow up that trellis. And then down here, I just direct sowed, what did I have in here? Some Blue Lake beans. They haven't popped their heads up yet, but back with my germination, they have actually already come up out of the ground. So, excuse me, out of the seed trays. So by direct sowing, it's going to take a little bit longer because they don't get the direct sunlight like they do inside germination station. But guys, that's about it. I just wanted to give you a rough idea. I'm really excited to share with you this entire season, all the stuff that we have in this community garden. Hopefully we're going to meet some people if they're okay with coming on camera. And I'll mention also, we have a great resource. We do have a water source here, but we have a 500-gallon rain runoff. So we're actually going to be able to use this throughout the season, which is going to be wonderful. And then as you see, we have a metal canopy. That's where that water runoff down into the drains. And then, you know, down the roof into the gutters, into this 500-gallon pot of recycled rainwater. We all know that's what your plants are going to love. There's nothing better than it. So with that being said, folks, I really appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time with me, learning a little bit more about this community garden. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you're interested to get more updates. Hit that like button for me, because it really does help the algorithm to share this content with other people. And with that being said, guys, this is it for now. Hope you enjoyed seeing what our inner city Washington, D.C. urban community garden will hopefully become. And I look forward to sharing with that content with you guys real soon. So for now, that's it. I'll see you guys on the next one.